I was hoping I get more than just there it is. God damn it, crap. He did it again. Welcome, everybody, to the Crossfire podcast. Listen, it's Christmas Eve for a lot of people. A lot of people are doing some late-minute shopping. A lot of people are just, they don't even know where they are. I'm like, hey, guys, tonight's Crossfire. People are like, what do you mean tonight's Crossfire? Oh, that's right. It's the 88th episode. So some people have a lack of memory, but it is what it is.
Wait, is it the 88th episode?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't count them.
I don't either.
It's fun. A lot of people, GKB, we're going to ask you, actually. You guys do the counting thing. I never did the counting thing because I figured, to be honest with you, I don't have that many fucking, toes and fingers.
I don't know how long that's going to last for, but we're doing it right now. We're at like a 47, I think.
Yeah, well, it's not bad. Crap, the thing is, what do you think Xbox Nation's up to, if you had a guess?
I don't know, maybe 100.
Oh, you got to be well over that because we were doing Xbox Nation before we were doing Crossfire.
That's why I put the episode in the title, man.
It kind of depends on, it would depend on like what we were considering it, because at one point it was like I wouldn't even have a name for it. It was like Versus or some shit. It was stupid. And like everything was like Xbox versus PS4, and then like some kind of subtitle after that, and then eventually we had we went through a bunch of different lineup changes.
Well, I have a mind that's kind of like, if anyone's tuned into me long enough now, I'm kind of like a blend between Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David, okay? That's just kind of how my mind works. So, like, when people are like, Mooch, you should have numbered the episodes, I'm thinking to myself, would somebody actually tune in, see that I'm at 113 and be like, maybe I should have gave him a shot? I don't think anybody cares what number it is. That's why I never put it in there.
I'll let you know. The reason why I do it is strictly selfish. It is strictly for me to let me know what episode we're on, dude. Because I know
love that.
Eventually, everything's gonna blend together, and I'm trying to prepare before that happens.
Yeah. Well, listen, I want to let the audience know, since we're doing a holiday edition, I mean, I myself did extended family and such last weekend, which is why there wasn't a Crossfire. This weekend I'm home, but a lot of people that are on the show, and actually a lot of YouTubers in general, are celebrating this time naturally with family. So I'm going to skip the whole introductions thing. We've got Crap Gamer here. You've got GKB and Xbox 448. Everybody knows everybody here.
Lineup right there.
Absolutely. What I did was I plucked the owners of each of the head of the 5 families. So I figured, we've got a lot to talk about, but while as Crap always says, while the audience kind of shuffles in and says, excuse me, my seat number's in the middle of the aisle. I wanted to just ask people. I know Xbox playing Dead Rising 4.
Oh my goodness!
I'm playing Dead Rising 4. I know.
I just got off it to get on here. So
you were on case 5.
Yeah, actually, I finished up case 5. I'm on case 6, which is the last one. Like I'm at the last part. So
what do you think? I mean, now let me ask you guys a question, and GKB chime in as well. This is not just about Dead Rising. What are you guys gonna play in the next 8 days? And you're probably saying, where the hell did you come up with 8? I think that between Saturday being Christmas Eve, the blowover of Christmas into that between Christmas and New Year's week, exactly, GKB, some people can get a little bit of backlog time in. What are you guys planning to play this next week in either backlog or a new game that you're going to pick up in the digital sale?
Dude, Halo 5 and Dead Rising 4, yeah.
Well, thanks for being different.
Halo 5. Really?
Yo, Halo 5 is still, to me, it's the epitome. Like, when it comes to first-person shooters with online multiplayer, and like, that thing still has has a mode for everybody. And, with the community, like, hitting me up for Xbox Live parties and stuff, like, yo, you want to go into Halo and do this? You want to go do Firefight, Slayer? Like, everybody says something different, man. So they keep me going as well, because I'm playing games with a bunch of different people.
You see,
all different modes, man.
Crap, let me bring this up, because we talked about getting back into Halo. I want to say this since he brings it up. See, when I think of Halo, first of all, Halo multiplayer is just unprecedented. It's one of the best games out there.
It is. I'm hot garbage at it. I feel like I should say that again.
It's because we don't play it, though, first of all. Second of all,
your picture on Twitter was priceless, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what, dude? Someone came at me yesterday on Twitter, like one of those stock accounts, like, dude, look at you. You're only level 15 on Halo, and you hype it up. And I'm like, well, first of all, I say I'm hot garbage at that game all the time. Like, I'm terrible, but I still have fun with it. And second, most of the time that I played it, which was on game night, it's private lobbies where you don't level up. So
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's not like, and I freely admitted that I'm hot garbage at Halo.
Well, that's what's happening to me in Gears of War. We're playing I played another 2.5 hours of Gears of War last night, but because the chats go from like 4 to 6 to 16, we're automatically playing in private matches, and I can't level up. I've been at like level 32 in Gears now for like months.
I got the cure for this. See, what we got to do is, first of all, you got to let me be the tour guide. All right, we got to get together, and then we'll go into like Firefight, then we'll go into like Warzone and Warzone Assault, where it's fun and competitive at the same time. Like I'm pretty sure Mooch, you will get your kicks out of it. You'll be like, damn, how come I wasn't playing this sooner?
Okay, well, let me throw this out there, Xbox, because you're the Halo guy. Okay, you're the resident Halo guy. When I think of playing multiplayer, if someone said, "Hey, I want to play multiplayer in Halo," that would be me saying, "Hey, me." Crap, GKB and Xbot, we're playing Halo, whatever. It doesn't matter which Halo you want to play. We're going to play it on Legendary, and we're going to go through a campaign. Do you not think about that at all? I do.
I do. Yeah.
I still have to. Here we go. Xbot exposed right here. I still have to go through Halo 5 on Legendary. By the way, I have like 64 days in game on this game, and I still haven't beaten the story on Legendary. So I still have that open for, any group of people that wants to come in and do that with me. I'm saying.
So Xbox playing Halo 5, everybody. So put your seatbelts on. You didn't see that coming.
Shocker. Such a shocker,
GKB, what are you doing in your backlog this week?
I'm going to be playing actually the Darksiders remaster. I'm actually going to be playing a lot of remasters, and I'm going to play through the Arkham games again.
You said you were going to get into that. So, I mean, now you have them. Have you touched it yet, or you've only dabbled?
No, I've played through a good portion of the Darksiders game and the Arkham. I think I'm playing through Asylum right now. I haven't played.
Isn't it Darksiders 2? That was
it's actually Darksiders 1 remastered.
Oh, it is.
There's, the other one too, but I got the one, and it's really good, man. It's really phenomenal. I'm actually really impressed with it.
Okay, so you're gonna attack the Batman series and the Darksiders. Crap. What about you? What are you doing in the backlog this week?
I'm finishing up. Once I'm done with Dead Rising 4, that's pretty much it for the games this year that came out. So I bought the BioShock collection, so I'll probably start on that since I've never played the first two. Yeah. And then also I bought Dead Island collection as well. So
yes, I even asked Crap because we talked about it on Xbox Nation. So I said, Crap, he's like,
are you for sure gonna get this? And I was like, yeah, man, I got it. I'm downloading it right now, man. Don't worry.
Listen, I looked. $20 was a hell of a deal for 2 games. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I was going to say, when it comes to Dead Rising 4, I haven't tried it yet, but one of the main reasons why I was getting excited that Snaps was picking it up is because of the multiplayer. I know it's not co-op multiplayer, but I saw some YouTube videos about how the multiplayer, it's kind of like survival day by day, and you have like certain goals that you have to do with like 3 of your friends. Like you have to clear out the hamburger place and then do this and do this, and then you have to make it back to the safe room before.
Now you use your character too that you've created, right?
I believe there's some type of character creation in it. I believe they have base models, like they have the millennial, and then they have they have kind of like stereotype models.
Crap! I thought that you had read that whatever you do in the multiplayer comes over to the single player, meaning weapons that you create, etc.
On what? On
Dead Rising 4.
Dead Rising? Well, you can create weapons on the multiplayer, but I'm not 100% sure if they carry over, like, because they wear out. Whatever you make in the game wears out. Yeah. So
I was hitting Twitter already before the game was downloaded. I was like, all right, who's gonna survive with me? Because I'm really looking to get into seeing how many days we can survive and how many missions we can like kick out and all that good stuff in the multiplayer.
Yeah, well, I want to do the multiplayer because there's some pretty easy achievements in there, just by surviving the waves and stuff. But you need like a team or like take a picture with all the multiplayer people. It's like 10 gamer score. And it's like cool shit.
Well, you guys having a hard time. I'm trying to take a selfie in the goddamn game when I have like an amazing outfit.
I still haven't done that.
You just all right. So you depress down on the R toggle and then you just hit RB after you have the camera, and then it'll bring us up. Now, if you're just Frank West himself, it's easy to do it. His face is right there. You can move his mouth expressions and his eyes. But if you're wearing like the Bulls outfit or the big reindeer helmet, when you go to do a selfie, the camera just zooms right in on the big red nose. You can't take a picture of the face. So
I did it. I did it in like a big old mask, and it was fine, man. Like,
how'd you do it? How did you zoom out?
It just does it. I don't know. Like Well, what's funny is
can't do it.
that you get an achievement for doing like a rank S selfie, which there's this part I think in like the third in the second case maybe something I think in the second or third case where you're on like this train outside and there's all these zombies around and you take a selfie with like all these zombies around you and then you'll get a rank S and you get an achievement for that. It was like it was pretty cool. So yeah, there's different ones. Like it doesn't have to be in that particular spot, but it's like you have to get a lot of score to get a rank S, which is
so. Wait, do the zombies have to be alive for that, or dead, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter,
right.
Because it just scores them or whatever. Yeah, so as long as there's like a lot, yeah.
I hear you. Well, listen, the game is a lot of fun. I'm playing the shit out of it, but I've been looking to kind of dabble into another game, and I'm barely skimming the surface on the BioShock collection that I've got. And I've been kind of wanting to get into Final Fantasy. But listen, when you get into Final Fantasy 15, that's like when you have a movie you haven't seen yet, and someone taps on the shoulder, and you're like, shh. You give them the shh. Yeah. Okay? So my point being is when I'm playing Dead Rising 4, you should see me. I've got my feet whipping up a batter for cake. I got people up talking. I can do like 80 things and play Dead Rising 4. You know what I mean? You can do a lot of different things. You can multitask.
You know what, Mooch? I was just because it's like close to Christmas and stuff. So I keep seeing like I follow I'm a big NFL fan, so I keep following. I played offensive line and stuff. So it's funny seeing all these people, all offensive linemen, get Christmas presents from their quarterbacks this year, right?
Yeah.
And so Joe Flacco, obviously Ravens quarterback, he gave his entire offensive line like this Alienware Oculus setup. Like these are like $3,000+ setups. Nice. He gave to like all of them, not just the starters, but the backups, the injured offensive line, the practice squad offensive line.
Gotta be good to the O-line, man.
Yeah. Like crazy, dude. Yeah, and then Russell Wilson bought his entire offensive line 4K TVs.
Dang. Shit.
Yeah. I was like, damn, man, I should have been in that if I'd be getting me some free shit.
If it makes anybody feel better, me and my wife left a batch of cookies for our mailman. But listen, it's as good as it gets over here at the Mooch residence. No, that's actually very cool, crap. I actually just tweeted out Rob Gronkowski. I don't know if it looks like it was done in the shape of some form of a commercial, but it just shows him kind of chilling at home because he's injured. And he's just Madden. He's playing.
Can I be honest with you? I hate the Patriots, but for some reason I like Rob Gronkowski.
He's hard to hate.
He is hard, but have you seen some of his Madden commercials? Like he's singing and he's just as goofy, kind of like, he's always like hooking up with some hot chick or whatever. I don't know. Like I hate the Patriots with a passion, but that guy is just funny as hell. I don't know.
Well, it's funny. I have a couple of I'm a diehard Giants fan, but a lot of they
got smacked around last night, huh?
Oh, tell me about it. At least I got over 20 points from Odell Beckham in my fantasy, and I'm in the Super Bowl. So everybody relax. We're okay. But I just thought it was interesting that like a lot of my friends are Cowboy fans, believe it or not. I got to argue, and they're old school Cowboy fans, right? Yeah, tell me about it. And but like much with your hatred for the Patriots and you like Gronk, they liked Mark Bavaro from back in the day. They're like, well, it's the only Giant I'll ever say I liked, and I'll give him credit for it. I'm like, the Giants are a wholesome team, okay? We're a wholesome team.
Here's the thing, right? There's like teams that. A lot of people are like, oh, you just don't like this team because they beat the Ravens. I'm like, no, look, Giants beat them, but I don't have a problem going for them. Especially against Dallas or whoever. You know what I mean? Like for me, there's teams that I really hate, like the Patriots and the Steelers and the Browns. You know what I mean? Like
the Browns. You just threw that in there for no reason.
Because I literally hate Cleveland. Like I hate that whole. I hate Ohio. I hate the Bengals.
Dang, bro.
Yeah.
Like there it is. I see what you just retweeted now. Joe Flacco, the ultimate elite gift giver.
Dude, he got them all like this like super high end like whole setup and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, because he says he's always trying to get I was reading it and he said he's just trying to get him like the new thing or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
right.
So he like the up-to-date stuff and some of his offensive line were like, well, that's cool. I mean, I don't even know if I could work that thing, but it's awesome,
like, you can see some of them, when they have the whole setup like in their office or whatever, they're like one finger pressing buttons. Like, is this gonna work? Like hitting the keyboard.
Talking football on a game podcast. Thanks,
Crap. Thanks, Crap. I was waiting for more hate on this. They're like, when are we gonna start talking games? But I'll bring it into gaming now. Crap. There's something going on right now in it's funny how the gaming world and the political world as crazy as people think it is, we can correlate the two stories together. So there's something going on right now in the political world that we're not going to talk about, but we will talk about it in the gaming world. And that is something that I'm calling fake news. And
well,
it's
a lot of
happening
people
more.
are calling out fake news on just
Right.
the regular news,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The regular news, like you have The Onion and these other things that are out there, and people are like, oh, come on, you're supposed to know that this is just a joke. Well, listen, here's the problem. A lot of people in America, have a reading IQ or an intelligence IQ of probably underneath an onion, just around a 12. So my point being is you can't put things in print nowadays because people think it's gospel. And
hey, you can't even say it. Who was that guy? Used to work for NBC. Said he survived sniper fire or whatever it was. And,
Brian Williams.
Yeah, Brian Williams. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I was there. I remember that, and I was just like, that's hilarious. You know what I mean? Like,
but the fake news is getting out of hand. Crap. Like, listen, there's things on Reddit. Okay, people go to There's people who go to Reddit for a reliable news source. Meanwhile, you've got a Sony pony in there who's putting in article after article or link after link of just like Scorpio going to be 5 teraflops or less, news at 11. And it's like, wait, now people are like, remember they ran with it. And this is what sparked this is where I'm leading into the whole Phil Spencer tweets.
It's harder. You know what? It's harder to do that about Xbox because Phil Spencer will like, if it's something that's really like not true, Phil Spencer usually will deny it. Now, if it's something that's, like even with the Rise stuff, he in a roundabout way said Microsoft isn't interested, Yeah,
but I mean, like the thing about it is it starts off with this nonsense and people are taking it to heart. And the problem is this is what I'll throw you in there too. But it was the reason when I first came on to BGST, I was saying the gaming media is biased or corrupt. And this is the thing you don't understand. Even when I was at this holiday Christmas shopping, okay, I'm out there and I talked to a few guys that I know at GameStop, and all the employees are Sony fans. And I asked them, I'm like, why are you a Sony fan? And they're like, dude, just man, the games. And I'm like, what? I'm like,
hold on, should I read the list again?
Oh, go ahead.
Please.
Oh,
go ahead. It's just they're like the games, and I go, what games? And they're like, listen, they're like, it's a consumer mindset that Sony is winning this generation, and he's like, we're absolutely killing it. I go, you're killing it with PS4s.
Birthday's the beginning. Claudon returns. This is Sengoku. Danganronpa 1-2 Reload. Danganronpa B3 Killing Harmony. Dark Rose. Valkyrie. Death's Gambit. Digimon World. Next Order.
You want a game, folks.
Dreadnought, Dungeon Defenders 2, Basic Stella, the Umbral Star. I'm not joking.
I'm shocked people are actually sticking around this podcast, not running out the door to buy those.
Hollow Point. I mean, come on. Knack 2, Knights and Bikes, Loot Rascals.
Loot Rascals is one of my favorites. I asked my wife for a shirt for Christmas.
I mean, who wouldn't?
This is what people are thinking. It's the list goes
Project
on
Phoenix,
and on. This is so
Pyre. I mean, come on, guys.
Crap, I love this. Is the second podcast you've done the list, and your list, you're doing it a lot like the guy from Movie Phone.
Dude, like, I don't have any idea. Nobody knows what the hell these games are. Come on. Like, really, I did a video about this too, where I'm reading this list, and I'm like, this list is making like normal PlayStation fans look stupid. Because a normal PlayStation fan isn't really giving two shits about this. And another thing is what I notice is you start talking to PlayStation fans and they're like, there's no variety, yo. I like my 360, yo. PlayStation's hot, yo. And so they're doing this and you're like, well, what's up with Xbox? They're like, it doesn't have that variety, yo. And I'm like, what variety does it lack? And they're like, well, it doesn't have that JRPG, but it's got Japanese games. And I'm like, well, okay, what else doesn't it have? And they're like, well, and they'll name off some exclusives and stuff like Bloodborne and I'm like, but it's got Dark Souls, which is the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like, and they just start naming stuff. Basically, they just pull stuff out of their ass, and they, it's like, oh well, because it doesn't have, The Last Guardian or The Last of Us, but those are just exclusives. Those are action adventure survival games or whatever, and Xbox has plenty of those. So basically, all they're saying is, that they don't have enough Japanese games, which is ridiculous. And then I also want to point out this is that everybody's like, oh, all Xbox has is the same stuff. It's this shooters and blah, blah, blah. But then you got the same people that are hyping up these Japanese games, which are all literally the same shit, like weird Japanese anime, schoolgirl type stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I always think it's funny when there's extremists on that end that are basically ignorant of the fact that they're saying one thing's all the same, but then they're not realizing that literally everything is the same. You know, like Persona is the same as this other, and all that shit looks the same. It's like JRPG is JRPG. So
yeah, all those Warriors Gundam games all look like One Piece. They all look like they're all the same. It's a hack and slash where you come out with a samurai sword and you press the X button until your fucking thumb goes numb. I mean, that's really all it is.
yeah.
Yo, guys, when it comes to this whole thing, when they're talking about Japanese games, it brings me back to the PS2 era, but not in the way that everybody tries to talk about. I remember within the PlayStation 2 era, my friend John, we used to hang out every day. We're like brothers, and he had a PS2. We would go to the store and we would go look for games. They had a wall of games that we had no fucking clue what they were. And I swear, if he dipped into those Japanese titles for the PlayStation 2, like over half the time we went back to play the game, it was absolute garbage. So you have people now touting these Japanese games that usually come to a PlayStation platform because let's be honest, like in Japan, they'll sell those games at least somewhat over there. And they're half the time they're nothing that we enjoy anyway. Right. And that's all the fuel that they have now. They know the power thing is all going away.
Well, I gotta give crap credit where crap's where it's due. And I didn't think it was true a year and a half ago when this whole conversation, this whole generation was about power. I remember saying to crap on BGST. I said, well, once we didn't know anything about Scorpio. We didn't even know the Scorpio name existed. There was no M in anybody's Twitter name. It was nothing of the sort. And we said, when Microsoft comes out with power, crap goes, listen, when they come out with a stronger box, the narrative will switch and we'll be back to games again. And man, crap, that didn't take more than a half an hour to happen. And, you know what I mean? It was like the day of E3. The minute Phil Spencer's like, and I bring you with his hand in the air, like he's got the power glove on. I bring you 6 teraflops, and everyone's like, yes, Phil. Like literally after the last chant of Phil, somebody was just like, the silent clap in the back in the Sony studio, like games. And everybody just picked that up. And they're like, but like you said, these games don't have any kind of variation. They're just hack and slash, press one button, move it along. The animations are old. The mechanics feel old. All those names that you read off, crap, are all the same. That's why they're pumping them out. Games take 3, 4, 5 years to come out with, people. So when you have a list of 55 games coming out from January 1st to January 18th, okay, that means that they're all bullshit games. They're games that nobody has any interest in.
Dude, like the Japanese like sequels and stuff like that, they come out more than like Call of Duty. Call of Duty's like once a year. Like,
well, you guys know me and crap. I was joking when I made up Kamasuki Dragon 17.
It's a thing now.
But it is a thing, actually. A lot of people are asking for it to be developed. But what I find really funny is that I picked the number 17 because these games that come out, they're not original ideas. They're like on number 83. They have more numbered video game renditions than people have their goddamn podcast numbered. It's getting insane. To me, it absolutely drives me mad. And it all kind of ties into what I was saying here. We've got an issue right now with something called fake news. And it concerns me in the fact that what happens is these sites like Reddit and all we had Jez on the show 2-3 weeks ago, and we had mentioned on the show, and Jez had said from his source that the NPD was within about 100,000 units, okay? 100,000 units, Sony won by that small of a margin in such a big month like November. On Reddit, somebody's like, on this show that this Mooch guy has, like I literally just came out of a fog one day.
You just stumbled.
I stumbled out and started podcasting on the street, and they said him and Jez Gordon from Windows Centrals are reporting from their sources that. Meanwhile, this whole thing picked up a lot of steam for about 8 hours until people found out that it was actually true.
It was true.
But the point of the matter is, you had enough people from PlayStation running, being like, well, there you go. And this is, hence the thanks, Mooch and crap.
Yeah.
It was of course our fault.
Are you talking about, was it a game or are you talking about the NPD thing?
This was the NPD thing.
Oh yeah. Like everybody was like thinking that me and you were the source for that. And I kept telling him, people. It wasn't us, but we had heard that as well from different people, and he heard it from a different source completely. And now it's basically confirmed that they only won by 100,000, and then people were like, "Oh!" And so now they know. I mean, not only that, but now you can get a PS4 Slim for like 195. Like you could tell Sony's like just desperately trying to unload those damn things. So.
They want to win. They have to win these NPDs. It's the only thing keeping them relevant.
Dude, they get any cheaper. I am going to look into getting the Final Fantasy 15, the limited edition one, keeping it in the box and just like saving it just because it's Final Fantasy. Yeah.
What do you mean? Which
the Slim? He said the PlayStation 4 Slim is going for like 190 something right now.
It is, but I don't think it's coming with Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's the Uncharted one.
It's Uncharted, yeah.
All right, I got you.
Yeah, no.
If that thing ever dropped, because it does have a cool picture of the moon on it, I do like that design, even though it does still look like a sticker over the hardware. Like I would put it in a corner and just save it because it's Final Fantasy.
I always tell people if you can and you don't care about getting the Pro or whatever, just get the basic one or get the Destiny one because those are the really good looking ones. So
yeah, that's
the white one. The Destiny one is probably the best one they have made this generation.
That's the one I have, and I have a hard time saying that I'm going to return that one for that disgusting layer cake. I just can't stand it. And listen, that's one of the things that I do want to talk about that today. I mean, we can kind of get into it now, but I wanted to kind of hit a hot subject before we get into the PS4 Pro and the dismal sales there. Phil Spencer.
Hold on, one second, Mooch. When you were talking about the false news, I have what I believe is a very good question. If people are going over to fucking Reddit and they're treating it like news, how come they're not coming over here to this podcast, to Xbox Nation, to next podcast, and treating that as fucking news as well? No. How come like we don't have any kind of quote unquote certification here, but a fucking website like Reddit does? I mean, seriously, guys.
Like, what happened to the days of like, when journalism and news actually meant something, where like people would get leaks or whatever the case and actually do their due diligence and check with their sources and vet all the information? Like now it's like this whole fucking clickbait fucking garbage.
It's been passed to us, man. It's been passed to us.
It's just absolutely absurd. Like you can't like trust any media thing anymore, even with like reviews and everything. It's just crazy these days.
Well, it is. And I mean, look at that review. It came from Marty Sleva, but then you had Ryan McCaffrey come out. And what does he say? He's like, game seems to not work. The mechanics are broken. I can't get through level 3 because the big dog won't move out of the way. Yet, The Last Guardian's intriguing. Wait, what? So, GKB's right. And GKB, let me answer your question.
Yeah.
What happened to the AP Associated Press and the actual links and the research and the journalism?
Yeah.
GKB, that's called work.
That's
and
true.
Millennials don't do that. Okay. They're entitled. They feel like they're entitled to everything day one. Thank you, folks. Don't forget to tip your waitress. Literally, in all honesty, they think they're entitled to it day one. It's unbelievable. And you have things that are going on, like I say, in the political world and the real news that are having those issues. But now you have people that are just reporting. Somebody who's like in their basement with their cholesterol level at about 1,000, is just writing something. But he's news. That person's news. It's a two-liner. But me and you that actually put like crap. Every time crap does a video, he's like, the link is down below from the actual producer, the developer, the studio, the this, the that. And then they're like, thanks, Mooch and Crap, for lying to us again. And no matter what he does.
Here's more proof, too. Like, Esky Boy in the chat there reminded me, too. Like, the Danny O'Dwyer, video that he put out, too. He literally worked at GameStop. He was, like, one of the high people there. He did a lot of stuff there. He, on his own show, was like, yeah, we do stuff for clickbait. He's like, that's pretty much why I left. He's like, there's no more, like, doing a good job. It's just what's going to get us the views and shit. Like, that's... Like, what is going on? Like, why do people come to here or any other podcast and like just talk shit and whatever else, because our values aren't like as good as anybody else's. But when Danny O'Dwyer comes out and says, yeah, that's literally what they're doing, nobody believes that shit.
Let me just inform everybody about Danny O'Dwyer for a second. He kind of was I think he came out and started doing all of this stuff where now he's telling the truth, because I think he was actually burned by the industry. And I'll tell you, because
that's what happens, man.
Yeah, because he was as much of this clickbait bullshit on game trailers as I think he was with game trailers. I actually got into a huge Twitter dispute with him. Of course, we're both respectively blocked from each other now. And, but nonetheless, I mean, the problem with him was he was a big Sony fanboy. The minute Microsoft did something, he would immediately talk about Microsoft's underpowered performance box. He was trying to be Dennis Miller and Bill O'Reilly, but he just couldn't pull it off with the Irish accent. I mean, that was he came off the wrong way, but he was part of the problem. And then I think when he got burned, he came out and he was like, you know what? Enough's enough. And that's okay. He saw the light, and I respect him for that. I really do. I respect him for that.
Yeah, I was just saying on the fact that
absolutely.
Somebody was in the industry and they came out and said like however he did it, but like that's all we've been saying for like the longest time now, and it's just crazy that nobody believes it.
Yeah,
I still get it. Like, oh, you guys think that there's bias in the media?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
people write me all the time. They're like, "Don't start with that bias shit again, Mooch."
Well,
it's me start with it. I'm just calling it out. I'm not starting it. It's happening in front of you.
How dare you? Oh,
how dare you, sir?
Well, I find it really funny that the people like over in Reddit and shit were questioning Jez, being that he works for Windows Central and actually still goes down the line of, making, getting a source, making sure it's accurate, making sure it's true before he even fucking puts anything up on the website. Like he does what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. Look at this guy in the chat, DC5841. We should call him Frank. Hey, Frankie.
Hey, Frank.
Do me a favor, because he does this because he's just a troll. That way, if you block him, he can come back as DC5842. He's a genius. He's like, people trust Reddit because Mooch and Crap have straight up lied. We straight up lied. Here's what we do on podcasts, DC, Franklin. What we do actually is we read headlines, we read things that come from developers, we read things that come from Microsoft, Sony themselves, and then we give you our opinion on it, okay? Which is basically what TV is built off of, jackass. So the point of the matter is we don't lie to anybody. Nobody on this podcast has ever lied to anybody. Reddit, when you go into Reddit or you go into any of these other channels or these other shows or NeoGAF, 90% of what you're reading is just a bunch of fanboy nonsense as well. That's just their opinions. Mm-hmm. Most of that is bullshit. I mean, 99% of it's bullshit. So I mean, to be honest with you, that's just the non. And I'm glad he actually wrote that. Thanks again, Frank. The point of the matter is that's why the Thanks Mooch and Crap meme is not only a phenomenon, it's catching on. It's actually moving faster than anything I've seen on Twitter in the gaming community because they blame us for anything. Everything is our fault.
Anytime I see it on Twitter, man, I quote the tweet and I hashtag it, man, because I really want it to go into hashtag mode.
Noof Nukem just wrote, my cat walked by my PS4. It singed its whiskers on the flaming heat coming off of it. Thanks, Mooch and Crap.
Thanks, Mooch and Crap.
I've never even been to Reddit, to be honest with you. So
me neither.
I've never been, so I don't even know.
And I don't plan on going to it. Listen, you know what it is? It's an open forum. It goes back to what GKB was saying, why people actually don't do any research or anything. What happens is you have Joe Blow jackass in his basement writes a one-liner, and somebody's like, that might be some fucking dirt. That they call it phishing. They call it phishing in the news industry. That's when they're kind of, you're a reporter, you're walking around, somebody just says something, it's a lead, you bump to the next thing, it's a lead, and you fish the story. What happens with Reddit is it takes all the fishing out. The fish are just sitting there out of water flopping around. You read which one you think is the bigger fish, and then you roll with it. Yeah. And the problem is there's no accountability anymore.
Yeah, there's no vetting the information. There's no like checking sources to see if it's even actually correct or if it's just some like Joe Schmo just writing something. Like, I don't get it.
That's exactly it.
It's gotten that bad. Like I've seen, I gotta thank God for the ponies out there, the stables in the world, because they spew out so much stuff that is completely lacking of common sense that they just give me fuel for my channel on a daily basis. But it is horrible to see that they go from quoting like these I don't know, almost like underground gaming websites like that call themselves like gaming news to now just really just skipping the middleman and just saying, fuck it, I got it from Reddit. It's got to be credible if it's from Reddit. Like, that's bullshit, man.
Yeah, Reddit is no more than just a guy next to you in class back in the 1980s passing a note to you.
Dude, it's like AOL group chat. Yeah, I heard it in AOL group chat like 15 years ago. Well, so it's gotta be true. Yeah.
Let's take what I'm talking about and put it to some fruition and what's actually happening. And Crap, I'm going to tap you on the shoulder here because here's the thing: you did a video on it, okay? Yeah. What happened with Phil's tweet Okay, and then how it blew up into this ridiculousness that is what's going on right now with the Sony fanboys. And he even lashed out again today.
Yep.
He's kind of had, Phil, if Phil's listening to the show or Mike and Bar or any of the guys, because some of them tune in, I just want to say what Phil's going through right now is just called Tuesday for Mooch and Crap.
Yes. Okay. I also want to point this out real quick to everybody that's listening. And if there's haters that listen, feel free to chime in for a change on the chat box and maybe explain this to me. All right. If Mooch and Crap say the type of bullshit that these haters were saying to Phil on Twitter, Mooch and Crap would be hung out to dry. People in the only Xbox community would be doing videos about us. We're the cancer of gaming. We're the scumbags. We're this. We're that. We're banned. We're this. We should be this. We should be exiled. We should get this locked up, that locked up. We're horrible, right? That's what would happen if we said the vile, stupid shit to Yoshida or somebody else the way that these ass buckets say these things to Phil Spencer.
Yes.
But for some reason, they not only say this stuff to Phil Spencer, but they also manage to make Phil Spencer out to be the bad guy.
Yes.
Right? Unbelievable that they make him out to be the bad guy. So basically, Phil Spencer said, hey, he doesn't particularly like the idea of paying to keep like DLC off of certain platforms. It doesn't help the industry grow. So he says that Microsoft has been guilty of that in the past, but he doesn't like to do it. So you have these ass buckets, ignorant and stupid as they are. They're like, well, what about Rise of the Tomb Raider and Dead Rising? And he's like, well,
game they published.
Yeah, we published these. So in case you didn't know what that entails, you're paying a multitude of money to help fund the game, to publish the game, to advertise the game. You're helping that game get made and get out there. And look, Sony's done that too, and there's no beef with that. Like with Street Fighter V, as bad as that game was, without Sony paying for that game, it's not getting made. Same thing with like Dead Rising 3 and things like that. So when you publish a game, that's a different story than paying to keep content off another console, like with Destiny or the Watchdog things or the Assassin's Creed things in the past or what have you.
Yes.
And Microsoft hasn't really done that. And if you want to go back and say, well, what about the DLC for Division? That was a Matric deal. Look at the announcement of the Division at Microsoft show way back in 2013 E3. So that was before Phil was in charge. So
that's right.
Yeah, I just want to point that out. And how dare you guys, man?
The first part of what you said is what's so true. Could you imagine? Here's the thing: anyone that doesn't like, myself or Crap or any of us, that you still tune in here. So thanks for the view, I guess.
Yes.
But when you tune in and you hate us, do you realize that me and Crap, we never write to Yoshida anything ill will. We never say that you suck. We never curse at them. We never this. We never that. We don't do any of those types of things to people like that. But all these Sony guys do it. Even some of the big YouTubers that are out there that are Sony fans, they do these things to Phil.
I'll never understand why. Like, look, we're not big YouTubers. I mean, I'm still considered a small YouTuber. Like, I mean, maybe big for for the crowd or whatever, but for the most part, we're small YouTubers here. Like, why people with, 80, 90, 100 plus thousand subscribers would even care?
Right.
That just goes to show that they either A, don't have the intelligence to come up with their own content, or B, just have to do that kind of stuff for hits because that's all they can come up with,
Or I'm going to even throw C in the pot, Crap, and that is what we're saying actually holds water, and they're actually threatened by it. Yeah, and that's the problem is that a lot of the stuff that we say is just opinion, okay? It's opinion. We are here most of the time just doing entertainment for a lot of folks, and we're very grateful for the people that do tune in and actually care to hear what we have to say. But, I mean, at the same time, what Phil was saying, and he was being very politically correct, he's still getting hounded on Twitter, and nobody ever bothers Yoshida. You notice that Sony fans, you guys, this is your third Christmas with nothing to play? Nothing. All these lists are still coming, right? January, everything's coming in January. And they're like, well, that's when Microsoft has a drought. That's when you're supposed to have a drought because I just bought 15 games in the fall, in the winter. Like, I don't need 27 versions of Kamasaki Dragon in February. Who the hell needs that?
Hey, Mooch,
I agree.
I just want to say this to again kind of expose this group. When Phil Spencer is getting attacked on Twitter and the ponies are going in using derogatory statements, everything like that, where are these quote unquote neutrals at who are kind of on the fence? They don't go either side. Were they over there defending what? Phil
No.
They were nowhere to be found.
Crap said it on his video today. The neutrals they'll tell you that on Twitter that they go between Xbox and PlayStation, but they're lying. All they do is they go between PC and PlayStation.
And as soon as we say a game on the PS4 Pro is dropping frames per second, then we have this fake ass neutral, because I'm king neutral. All right. These guys out there, they're fake ass neutrals. All right. Then they come, they're like, oh, what are you talking about? This and that. Oh, what's a couple frames and all this bullshit. But yet these quote unquote neutrals won't come to the aid of somebody who's trying to give games to the community, who's trying to get this library out there and stuff like that, and who actually makes fucking sense.
Hey, let me ask this. Like, as far as this goes, right? Yoshida doesn't really talk much on Twitter. I know, because I follow the guy. Phil is on there. He talks to the people. He interacts with people. He's actually very honest when he gets out there. You know what I mean? Like, people ask him, well, what about this game? And he'll be like, well, it's tough because, you know, you need to sell a certain amount. You need, you know, he's honest about that stuff.
Yeah.
Where if you ask like Yoshida and this kind of stuff, like, hey, can we get a sequel to this? He just never answers or reply. You know what I'm saying? Like Phil is very transparent, at least.
Yeah.
And you got to like that, whether it's good or bad. You know, I mean,
well, it's funny
he's like, it's on me. He's like, you know, Lionhead, that's on me. The bad stuff, it's a game canceled, it's on me. He's like, we don't want to announce games too early because the majority of games never see the light of day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the point, though. You say he's very transparent, and Microsoft comes out, says 6 T-flops, and then on Reddit, you know, a couple weeks ago, what do we see?
Downgrade.
Oh, the underpowered 5 teraflop Scorpio on the way.
Well, they could have got 5 teraflops this year, you know,
Right.
and then they start with that price thing again, $800, and it's like, you know, it's not going to be that price. Come on.
Now you see Michael Pachter, boy. We should call him the willow tree, right? Because wherever the wind blows, that son of a bitch will bend. Now you know what I mean. So things are.
He announced it. He announced it basically as if it was, you know, like he knew, you know. But look, I like Jez has said $399. I've said $3. Like there has to be that version, you know, because even at $399, it's still going to be probably $50 more than the Pro. So, you know, but you know what the latest,
like the Xbox One S, like they're just gonna have a couple of SKUs like at different price points. Like,
there's gonna be a $499 one for sure, you know, for sure. But you know, the latest thing, and I don't know if you saw this or you guys saw this, but holy crap, I saw someone go, well, the Scorpio's too powerful. You don't really need that much power.
I did
Did
see
you
that.
see that?
Oh, you see? Yeah. Oh man, people are like, yo,
Overpowered.
Scorpio's too much power. That's too much to have. Like,
we don't need it because checkerboarding is just fine. And I seriously was just like, for real, did Xbox fans sound that retarded? Because I would apologize if that was what we sounded like.
To this
it's like
day,
cockroaches scurrying in the kitchen floor for an excuse, yo.
To this day, nobody could tell the difference between 1080p and 900p, right? We can't. But they made such a big deal about that, and now you're trying to tell me that checkerboard versus native 4K, the numbers are astronomically separate. It's day and night, and this is the nonsense. As he said, the goal. I like Jimmy Moran. Shout out to him. He's always doing that gif where people are like, he's like, oh, here's NeoGaf on Monday morning, and it's a bunch of people moving a goalpost across the soccer field.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to him too. He just got his Xbox One S. He's been looking high and low, and he finally got one. So
really,
yeah, he got one today. Got his FIFA one.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh yeah.
heck yeah.
Now, shout out to the 300 people in here, man. That's great to have you guys with us tonight.
Yeah,
I really do
holidays,
appreciate
you know?
it. It is a holiday weekend. You guys have, I'm sure people have family in town, or you're out. You know, like a lot of YouTubers are out shopping
have
right
your family tune in as well, man. Make the family thing.
Yeah, and if you're just joining, man, I would, especially the haters, man. If you just listen to what I said earlier, explain that shit to me. You know, like the differences between what some of these guys get away with saying, and then how me and Mooch would have been put through the ringer for saying some of this stuff. I'm just saying, man, it's crazy. Like for me, how that you know, the double standard, there's like a double standard against Xbox and there's a double standard against Mooch and Crap. And you know what's funny is I see people talk about it like that too. Like they aren't even atting us, Mooch, but I'll just see people go, you know, if Mooch or Crap had said something like this, like somebody would be all over them. You know what I mean? Like,
it's true.
Yeah. Like I seen somebody bitching on Twitter about, or somebody said this on Twitter, man, people are all saying F 2016, but for me, it's been a great year. Yeah, people die, but people die all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if me or you had said that,
Oh, yeah.
Pro death.
Crucify.
Pro
Yeah.
death.
Yeah.
Look at it. Yeah, pro death. We're pro death.
death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new
Pro
Mooch
death.
logo would be a skull and crossbones.
Yeah, like look at these
Yeah.
scumbags, man. They're pro death.
Yo,
They,
we
well,
gotta
they
get
like
graphic.
2016. Think it was a good
The
year. Can
worst-
you
you
believe
know,
these guys?
One of the things that kills me the most about it all, and I'm glad a lot of the audience is here to listen to it, is sometimes I reach out to the Xbox community. When me and Crap say something, ask us first. Don't just assume something, because sometimes you get sabotaged in your own community. You guys got to understand something. We already have enough people fight. You ever see the movie 300? It's me and Crap versus the entire fucking army that's coming around the corner as the fucking video pans up into the sky, and you're like, they're never gonna win. My point being is, we
got that little hunch guy who can't really do anything. We sent him scurrying, and now he's pissed.
and then he stabs us in the back later.
And that's happened.
Absolutely. So like all we ever say is, hey, it's Christmas. It's time for forgiving, okay? So listen, Crap and I are always trying to give you guys a great show at the same time. Like give us some slack. And, by the way, but please keep the Thanks Mooch and Crap memes coming, because those are fucking
they are funny as hell.
I can't stop.
Also, we're giving
watching
away
those.
Battlefield 1 on MNC Mornings on Monday.
Dude, I was going to ask if you guys were doing a show this Sunday.
We're doing a show Monday.
Oh,
it'll be Monday. It's obviously not going to be on Christmas, but and you know what? What's interesting is I've had people hit me up with, I've got a couple, so for the next few weeks, we're good because, although, I mean, if people still want to donate, like if you get games, a digital code in your new Xbox that you already have, feel free to donate it and we'll give it away. Like somebody just messaged me and they're like, here's another Battlefield 1 code. So we've got a couple of those. I've got a FIFA 17 code. We've got a $10 gift Xbox Live code. You know what I mean? Like people have been that's totally supported by the community.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You guys see us
Battlefield
doing
1's no joke either. That is a
that's a
hot game.
Oh yeah, those are great games. So it's cool that we get that we'll be able to give over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be able to give a couple of those copies away.
Yeah, let me take a second to actually say that we do have an amazing community. I mean, MNC Mornings is basically sponsored. I feel like we're a PBS publication.
Yeah.
Okay. We get so many great donations from the community because they just want to see the show thrive. And it does. It's just getting better and better every week, thanks to also our producer, Jay Williams, Jay Dubs.
Yeah, exactly.
Jay, remember when Jay said to me, he goes, can you do me a favor, Mooch, and just not call me Jay Williams? I think I've called him Jay Williams more.
I was just thinking that. I was like, man, he loves being called graphic guy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, for some reason, Jay Williams stuck. It rolls. But Crap, I'm gonna actually tell you another question I got for you here is you got something that I had people. I'm sitting on the couch the other day. People like, Mooch, did you see Crap's latest video? And I'm like, well, what did he do? I'm like, it's like 9:00 at night. He's like, he's got the word megaton. It's something huge. I go, what do you mean? And the guy writes me back. He goes, it's such a big deal that the whole title doesn't fit on the Twitter fucking roll. I'm like, what? What is this? So what? I mean, basically, what it was that came out, Crap, right? Was that
to me it was pretty big because
is.
somebody said, and I'm not allowed to say, like people, like I'll tell you guys off air about it. And I'll even show you guys what was sent me, but it was a document that's sent to retailers, and so I can't say who sent it. They've sent me some stuff before, and it's like this thing from Microsoft about Xbox Scorpio, and it says that out of the box, this thing's going to be 100% backwards compatible with the 360 games, unlike the Xbox One S. And so I was like, holy crap, that's amazing. I'm going to do a video on it. And I thought that was pretty cool because that would be a little, you launch this thing, and this whole thing that it talks about in this thing is like about how there's no generations anymore. And so it's going to just work. And like right out of the box, man, this thing's going to be like compatible with over 1,000 games. Like people that have a 360 or that never had a 360 before now are interested because you're going to be able to play all your games. Like, and I was actually talking to Jez a little bit about it because we were DMing back and forth, and he made some good points. And because, I was like, well, maybe they have a surplus of those Xenon chips or something that are just included because they stopped production on the 360s. You know what I mean? They could have just had, or they could be so cheap that they're just throwing them on there so they can hardware emulate and they don't need to software, because there is an issue with the software emulation and getting the licenses. I see that. But, I think that would be, don't you think that would just absolutely be huge because it's something Sony couldn't match?
Right. It is massive crap. And listen, I think that Mike Ibarra and his team are working diligently on this because I think what they want to have is they want to have the Scorpio come out and not have to be like, remember when Xbox One came out, it took almost 6 to 8 months for us to start to get the things that 360 used to have. They want this thing to come out and have no lag. No lag. You pop this in, you plug it in, and guess what? All it is a much better Xbox One. So
yeah, that was like a mega, and it was pretty interesting because like people are always asking me like, when do you hear about this, or why don't you put a link on that or show us that? I'm like, look, if I show, and look, like you guys know, I have the information on the PlayStation Network scheduled maintenance times and days. I have like all the information on the Pro that it didn't have an Ultra Blu-ray drive, like way before anybody else. People give me stuff for some reason. I do like a YouTube thing. But if you start running your mouth, I mean, if I start running my mouth, then people won't want to give me any more information. You know what I mean? I can't sit there and like give out, who like tell people who told me these things or shows me these things. And first of all, you could get in trouble. You could get them in trouble. You know what I mean? Like there's NDAs and like I don't want to be a part of that.
Crap. When it comes to that, you have proved your information to be accurate time and time again. I think why people are asking for who did it and why don't you say that is just so they can go in that direction and attack them. Like, why are you giving this shit to Crap? Why are you giving them all this information and stuff? So don't even bother, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, after that, I ain't gonna give them any idea who that is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I like that. Like, people want to know about Scorpio. Like, that's a big hot topic. People want to know what's it gonna be. What have you heard anything about on price? Have you heard anything about this? Or and like right away, it's like whenever I hear something, I do a video about it. People like it. People respond well. They're excited about it. I'm excited about it.
Listen, the thing about it is this. I appreciate. I've known Crap for quite some time. Me and him do a lot of work together on YouTube. And Crap. You have to admit, even me, I know you've even said to me a few times, I don't even want to know. I don't know where Crap got that. I don't know. I have no idea.
Dude, I remember I sent Tim Dog the documents for the PS4 Pro when it was still Neo. Yeah. And he goes, "Holy shit." And he goes, "I deleted that." He's like, "I completely deleted it." He's like, "I don't want anything to do with it." And I was like, "Yeah, it's interesting." He's like, "Yeah, so." And what's funny is I had Hellhammer scan like through all the files to I was the one that said Sony's working on trying to implement the ability to change your gamer tag, your PSN account, right? They are actively doing that. What will it be done? I don't know. They said they're not sure, but they are actively working on that. So I think it'll be cool if they could do that. Because look at poor Noof Nukem, right? He messages me on PlayStation. He goes, "Man," I've created this name because I didn't like the other one. Yeah. It's like that sucks that you got to create a new name. Well,
that's the thing. But Sony did this 3 times now. They've done that with, if you want a new name, you have to ditch all of your credentials and go there. If you bought the 500 gig PlayStation 4 vanilla back before when they came out with the 1 terabyte, remember? Could you just see Yoshida coming out and pulling a Matric? You need more hard drive space. We have the console you need is a PS4 again. You have to buy it all over again. So you buy it again, and now you've got the PS4 Pro again. Listen, moms and dads, okay? I mean, we were even talking before we went live today on a couple of things we're going to be doing with the kids and the Xboxes and things like that. And the one thing that nobody really wants to do, and a lot of us are more on the tech savvy side, we really don't feel like taking out the old, wrench and the old screwdriver and putting in a hard drive into your console, especially the way that, Sony's is so condensed and compact.
Step your game up, Sony.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's a great thing, being able to look. I told Hellhammer, right? Like, we were talking the other day, and he goes, we were talking about hard drive space, and I said, you know what? I have all my games on the external. I have nothing on the internal. I said, when Scorpio comes, I'm just gonna unplug that and plug it into my Scorpio, and I'm good to go. Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't have to worry about re-downloading anything. And and I have a 1 terabyte. You know what I'm saying? I have the 1 terabyte white one and the Gears one as well. So, and I have nothing on the internals, just external. You know what I mean? Like I'm not putting anything on the internals because Scorpio's coming, and I don't want to go because it was kind of a pain in the ass when I first got the Slim and I was transferring stuff over to it to that hard drive to the externals. You can only do it one at a time, which I found to be a big pain in the ass. So I was like, I'm just keeping all the stuff on the externals, and then you're good to go. But with PS4, you can't do that. You just kind of you got to uninstall, put in a new one, and transfer your shit. I don't know. It's just big to do. And
I do the same thing you do, Crap. Now I don't have the internal at 0. I mean, I have a few smaller games on the internal, but I have the console set up that any new game, digital or physical, that I install immediately downloads onto my external. I think I want to get a bigger, beefier external hard drive. Right now, I'm working with a Western Digital MyBook 3 terabyte. But then I have the 1 terabyte. Then downstairs I have the 2 terabyte Gears, which downstairs I don't have an external. I just use that one as almost like a remote or satellite Xbox.
I am going to be super jealous of Snaps because she caught the 8 terabyte external caught her eye, and it's the same one that freaking Larry Herb uses. So now, like once
what's that running?
Huh?
How much does that cost?
I believe that's like 204.
I paid 110 for my 5 terabyte external.
That's not bad.
Once she decides on something, that's pretty much it. So like at some point in time, she's gonna buy it. I'm gonna go out into the living room and I'm gonna see that thing next to him. Man, we got to get me one too. Like,
what do you GKB? What are you using for an external?
I got a 3 terabyte.
Okay, me too. All right. I mean, I'm still finding that I have some room. I mean, but I don't know. I can't speak for you guys, but like when I take, there's a couple like, okay, so Grand Theft Auto 5, right? That's a big one. That's a big boy.
Yeah.
That's like 50, 60 gigs. And I had bought that physical when it first came out and I returned it like a year ago. I'm going through my games and I'm like, shit, I have this still on my hard drive. I just was like, uninstall it. Like,
well, I do. Like when I finish the games, I uninstall them because I'm done with them at that point.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not really like you don't even have to keep them, on there. They're always in your account. If you want to download them later, your saves are saved. Your game progress. I mean, I believe, right? You can uninstall, reinstall it, and play it.
Yeah.
So my point being is that like when you're done with the game, when you're just sitting there chilling and you're waiting for like your friends to jump into a party chat, go through my games and apps and just the games that you're done with, or maybe some physical games you downloaded and then you returned, you don't have the disc anymore. Just uninstall it. You find out you have more room on your console in your external than you thought you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Mooch, I am a stickler. I almost have an OCD when it comes to that. I go through my games like
I'm getting that way.
At least like once between once a week, once every 2 weeks. And any games that kind of fell out of my rotation or whatever that I haven't played in a while, I'll just uninstall it. Since it, my progress saves in the cloud, whenever I reinstall it again, like I'll just pick up right where I left off. It doesn't, I love that feature, having that just recognize where you were, have your progress saved in the cloud, and as soon as you bring it back, you're right where you left off again.
It's, this is exciting too. We had talked about this before we knew Scorpio was coming, and I said that I'm excited because, just in 2013 we had a hardware release, and I feel like in 2017 we're getting another just like stupendous, amazing piece of hardware coming again. Mm-hmm. And this leads me to my next question, and unfortunately the only person I can ask is Crap because he's the only one who has one. Crap, do you think that people right now have people who have a PS4 Pro are feeling a little bit like, like they got taken or had?
Well, you know what? It's a hot piece of garbage right now. I think that, look, I'm just being honest. This thing might have something worthwhile. Like when you get into like the God of Wars and stuff like that, maybe into 2018, maybe then at that point, it could be something.
Right.
But, right now, nothing. Like I like literally like there's nothing. Like it's nothing special. I think that, if the Scorpio were to launch and be doing as bad, like fall out of the top 100 on Amazon, like the second, like within 3 weeks, are you serious?
Right.
Well,
Tim Dog was saying that it was 92 on Amazon the other day, and as we get closer and closer to Christmas, now it's like 82 or something. That's not good. The Pro. I mean, right? I mean, this is new hardware. It just came out a month ago.
Well, if you look at it, like even like when Digital Foundry does all their like PS4 Pro games and updates and stuff like that, it really doesn't offer anything else but like an upscaled 4K or in some cases native 4K on the remasters and stuff like that. But there's no graphic fidelity increase whatsoever. So at that point, like if you're a PlayStation 4 owner, why would you take your PS4 in and just get the Pro when it's just the same experience in the end? And if you don't have a 4K TV, there's even less of a reason to have one.
Not only that, it's not even native 4K. It's just
Well, the thing is, though, and this is the one thing we keep jabbing the PS4 Pro for, that it's checkerboard, it's not even native 4K. But here you have a game like Horizon coming out, which was made with the Pro in mind, and it can't hit 60 frames, and it's a single-player game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 30 frames, right?
Yeah, that's it. And there's not going to be any option for 1080 60. It's just 1080 30 or 4K 30.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm.
That's
I think the
pathetic.
native resolution is actually 1800p.
I think isn't it like 1400 though or something?
Or 1440. Yeah, it might be 1440. It's in that range.
Let me ask you guys. I got GKB here who kind of dabbles in it for a living, and I know Xbot pays attention to it. Crap, you do enough reading on it. For the folks that don't know, GKB, what is native 4K coming at in P, and what's the difference between that and the checkerboard numbers?
Well, it's kind of like it's 2160. I think is the 4K. It's 2160p.
Yes.
But what it is in checkerboard is like it could be any resolution above like 1080p, so it could be 1440, 1800. From what I've been watching on Digital Foundry, it's kind of running the gamut right now. And then it does the checkerboard up to the 4K resolution, so it's like sampling all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
giving you the best picture it possibly can.
Yeah, what it does is my bad. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say Ultra HD is 3,840 pixels, which is 2160.
Okay.
So like you were saying, it's like 2160. So that's what that is, because I was just looking at it. So you're right on that.
With the checkerboard, what they do is it's a 2x2 pixel count that fully has the native resolution in it, and then they kind of stretch it out to a 4x4 to give it the extra upscaled resolution. Is what they do. That's how you get. That's why they call it like checkerboard. It goes from 2x2 to 4x4. So
checkerboard, in like a sense, it just takes a bunch of
the outer border. The outer border of those cubes, the 4x4, the outer border is stretched out. So instead of having like the entire kind of thing kind of stretched, the whole screen stretched out to fit that resolution. It's like smaller boxes that have been stretched out a little bit more, and it creates
a little bit more.
And it creates a checkerboard effect. So you're supposed to not see kind of like the softness of an upscale as much using checkerboard. But if people were bitching about Quantum Break, who was using a very, very similar technique, and they said how soft that is. Like I don't understand how you can say how soft that game is.
It's gonna be dependent on Microsoft, right? I'm really waiting to see how Microsoft they're kind of biting their tongue. You'll see every once in a while Aaron or Phil or somebody will make a comment about true native 4K, but it's really gonna be interesting when the hardware is on the shelf, right, guys? How Microsoft decides to market this bad boy.
Yeah.
Do they attack Sony and saying it on the box? Do they attack it on the commercials?
Yeah, I think that, they're going to push it as far as they can with the 4K. That's a new buzzword right now. But just like me going back to it, I'm always like, what is 4K on the Scorpio? I definitely think, from the spec wise, it can do 4K. But I'm one of those guys that like I've seen like 4K, 60 running on like these beef PCs and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just wondering, where is it going to fit? I don't think it's going to do like ultra settings 4K 60. I'm probably leaning more towards medium to low 4K, which to some people that's fine. To me, it's whatever. But
right,
I just have questions about that.
No, I do too.
I could definitely your questions are very understandable, but with the new hardware, and I know before anybody in the chat goes all crazy, I know they haven't officially announced this yet, but when it comes to Zen and Vega put together, like AMD
it's not gonna have Vega.
Absolutely, what it's not?
No, it's not gonna have Vega.
You think it's gonna have Polaris?
Yeah, it's gonna have Polaris. It's gonna be based off the RX 480. The specs, everything matches.
You know this because
I don't know this for a fact. I deal with hardware all the time and computers and all that kind of stuff, and just based off the specs and the clock rates and all that stuff that has been leaked at this point or given by Microsoft, it looks like it's going to be the RX 480 like baseline. I don't think it's going to be Vega at all. And Vega is like when it comes to like AMD architecture and Vega, that's more enthusiast based like graphic card stuff. So that's like the high end guys. That's the ones that are like pushing like absurd like 8K kind of stuff that they're going to be wanting to do. I don't see that. Trying to keep the price point at $400 and $500. I don't think it's going to be Vega.
Well, Vega is going to be incredibly cheap, by the way.
We don't know that.
Well, that's AMD's like goal. Like I look at like
what's cheap compared to like a 1080 or a Titan X?
Look at what they're doing with the Zen. They're offering the level of an $1,100 CPU and I know they haven't officially stated this yet, and this is going from sources that like I kind of talked to in the computer industry. You're looking at about a $600 CPU to the consumer. So they're offering $1,100 worth of performance for almost half.
Okay, and then say Microsoft could pick it up for like $300 because they're not going to get it for 10 cents. Let's just be honest here.
Well, I wouldn't say 10 cents, but then they're also going to have variations as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to get like a lower. You're not going to get that Ryzen that they were showing.
Right, you're going to get
a
custom version of it.
Yeah,
I got you. But here's also the thing when it comes to hardware, and you can actually ask the Don about this, being as he's a developer. When they optimize hardware into a closed system like a console, you're looking at a 30% performance boost with that hardware that you have.
To be honest, man, like when you talk
optimization.
When you talk about optimization in a closed console, that's simply taking things out of the game. That's how they optimize these games.
I'm talking with the hardware optimization, with it having a closed, like the Don told me, basically what you're looking at is a 30% increase in performance on the hardware that you have in front of you.
My whole thing is this. This was one of my arguments before we even got into this whole Ryzen and all this other stuff came out. I actually was I understand I'm in the minority, and I understand a lot of people are not going to understand where I'm coming from with this. But I'm one of the only people that sees the low price tag for Scorpio, these rumors, and I'm bummed. I'm a little bummed. Okay, because no matter what you do, look at when you go through a drive-through at McDonald's, they've got the regular, the medium, and the large. Okay, that's how you can get your 3 meal deals. So I have no problem understanding that when I want the large fry and the larger soft drink with my burger, that I'm paying more than the guy in front of me who got a medium. So when people are saying that Scorpio is going to be this upgraded console and do this, that, and the other thing, I would rather they put this son of a bitch at $599. And give me more of the componentry that I want than the dumbed down version of a Zen or the dumbed down version of a Vega. That's me personally, because people are like, well, Mooch, that's just not fair. We don't want to spend that kind of money. Yes, you do.
Mooch,
Shut up.
I agree with you 100%, but here's one thing with the whole $599 price tag. There's a stigma around it. There's a stigma around $600, and it's the stigma that grew from the PlayStation 3. In the gaming industry and stuff like that, for people who've been in here a while and stuff like that, $600 is kind of like it's a negative sign. It's a negative symbol. You saw what happened.
But that's a man-made problem. That's just something that we can't.
No, that's true. That's true. But
I mean, let me ask you guys, because every man or woman's in charge of their own wallet. Crap, would you have a problem with a $599 price tag for Scorpio?
I probably, I don't know if I would, but I would think that would open a whole shitstorm for Microsoft. They can't really afford to do that. They have to kind of toe the line with this thing.
Yeah, but who loses really? Who loses? That's like, listen, let me use GKB, what GKB just said. When you're doing optimizing, right? He goes, that's really just pulling out of the game. And I kind of agree with him to a certain point. Now, hear me out. When you say, I don't want, when you go to buy a car and the car's $50,000, and then the salesman's like, why can't we make this work?
$50,000 car.
I'm trying to do a premium product. Okay, $50,000 car, premium car, and you're like, I don't want this car. I wanted a car that was like $40,000. He's like, okay, then I'll give you the same car, but I'll take out the air conditioning, I'll take out the leather seats, and I'll take out the sunroof and the navigation. And there you go, $40,000.
I'd be like, take out about $20,000 more worth of shit, please.
Well, that's the problem. Though. When you keep bitching about price, how you can't have again? Here we go with the millennials. I want my cake and eat it too, and I want someone to spoon feed me. Like what? Like you want a premium console? Listen to these PC guys. I got a double 1080 T57 with a fucking twist on it. I'm fucking working on my PC next weekend, all weekend long.
They're paying like thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars. All of a sudden, Phil's
but there's a very small market that are actually paying those thousands, though. It's a super small market.
It's a super small market, but like we saw the numbers that came out in gaming, and out of those like $9 billion that was made, like $4 billion was on PC gaming. My point being is that you have to understand that you can't have everything. You want to have a better product, but then you're telling Phil make it cheap as hell. That doesn't work.
I don't think that they're doing I don't look at it that way. I think the whole entire reason they waited a year was because the cheaper, more powerful parts. I don't think they're really sacrificing anything. It's like that's the thing that people wanted. They wanted a 4K native console to be able to play this generation's game.
Yeah, but crap, now we're hearing we're not getting the true Ryzen. We're going to be getting a Ryzen meshed with a fucking Big Mac secret sauce.
No, well, it's going to be a custom. It's going to be custom. But
I don't want custom. That's I don't want. No, I'm saying, you go to see the doctor. And the doctor's like, well, we have Advil and the generic. I want the Advil. No, give me the Advil. You know why? The Advil's fucking working. The generic's made by crap and Mooch.
It's made by the.
I mean, come on. I don't want custom. I want the real deal. I'm willing to pay for it.
I'm with you, Mooch. Like,
they don't.
I totally agree. Like I want like the full on Ryzen. I want like Vega and stuff and all this. But we always talk about like price point. Like that's not a console price point. Like I agree. I would pay $600 to answer your question. Like I wouldn't really care, honestly. There's plenty enough time to save up and do what I got to do to get it. But for the average one out there that maybe want to get on it, they're just not going to pay that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you guys are right. Okay. So what I'm saying, it's a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. But, Esky Boy, who's in the chat here, who's a great guy, follows us all on Twitter. He goes, what Mooch is basically saying is you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say here. So, later on down the road, guys, okay, if we could fast forward to November 2017 and the Scorpio comes out and it's custom this and a custom that, custom with a baseball bat.
Never use neither of them use off-the-shelf parts. It's got to be somewhat custom. Because they don't want people going in there.
Yeah, okay. Well, listen,
custom, man.
Yes, I understand what you're saying with that. Now, that's a great point, crap. They do that, so I agree with you there.
Yeah.
But when it's custom and then cut in half is when I have a problem. Not when it's custom to work with the actual box.
I'm not sure what, but look, we have to keep in mind this. And I remember having this discussion years ago on BGST with Zaire because he was like, "Yeah, the next Xbox needs to have DRM and they need to go ahead with their vision." And I'm like, no, they have to play it bland. They have to play it safe. Like you can't come out and go $700 and this, because what's going to happen is already what's happening where Sony and all these places are going, I can't tell the difference between 4K and the checkerboarding. Is that really worth a $300 more price tag? Just to say that you have a native and I don't, like they're going to totally change the narrative, which they've already started doing. And I've already seen different places do that. So you can't have this thing priced too far out of the pros category. It's already going to be like $50 more. So even on the low end one.
I try to reach out to people and try to use your mind. You have to understand, people need to understand what the value of $1 is. Here's a little bit of a Mooch minute for you. A lot of people on Twitter are always like, I'm broke. Don't forget about us, the ones that don't have a lot and this and that. Meanwhile, the next day, they're like, took me and the 4 kids to the Cheesecake Factory. Listen, dude, you go to Cheesecake Factory and you just get one entree and everybody gets a large soda. You're at $89. That was a half an hour meal. Okay. So what I'm saying is you're telling me for Scorpio, even if Scorpio has a lifespan of 3 to 4 years, you're telling me you don't mind don't go to Cheesecake Factory for one fucking day, people, and you can have an actual hardcore fucking gaming console for 4 years.
Yeah, we'll tell people that too. Like, hey, don't grab your fucking 12-pack every night, or don't fucking
take it easy.
You know what I mean? Don't smoke a fucking carton of smokes a week.
Yeah, but you know what? Even if you want to keep the carton of smokes and you want to keep the drinks pouring, fine. Just all I'm saying is you don't need to listen. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, Mooch, I'll catch Crossfire later. I'm going out to the pub or I'm going out to the bar. Every time anyone says that in my head, minimal. You're spending $50 and you're not even drunk. Like, it's just like my point being is that like people spend the same amount of money over and over again, but they don't like to put it in the same sentence or context. So when they go to a bar or a restaurant and the bill was $150, they're like, rub their stomach like, I got every fucking penny out of this joint. Meanwhile, 20 minutes later, you shit it out. My point is that you have to understand something, okay? You have to like take your dollar that's in your pocket. And when Microsoft says to you, I'm going to give you this and here's your option, and it's $600 and it's a son of a bitch of a system for 4 years, just take it. Money's money.
Well, look at this. Let's just go back even to the PlayStation 3. It was $599 US. Even they got fucking trash.
That's the stigma that I was talking about. That's
like
the
you cannot
stigma, man.
Hey, even look at the $499 of the Xbox One at launch. Like, go home, Microsoft. You're drunk, or Xbox. Go to PS4. You know what I mean? Like, you imagine? Like, to me in the back of my head, this is all the stuff that's got to be going on at Phil Spencer's head. He's like, okay, we've got to keep this thing reasonably priced. It's got to be powerful. They're gonna do That's why I mean, it's going to be a powerful console. It's going to be the most powerful console. So for that, man, I have no problem with like $399 or whatever. So it's all good for me.
Well, of course you don't mind $399. That's like getting the free smiley sticker when you walk into Walmart. Nobody wants it, but I'll take it. That's fine. I mean, I understand that. Listen, at $399, everyone on this panel is going to pick one up, and probably a lot more people. All I'm saying is I'm trying to just look at things differently. Look at things differently. If you're a gamer and you're listening to this podcast right now, you know, all these consoles have always been $200, $300, $400 over the course of years, and you kind of get tired of them after 3-4 years or so. What I'm saying is why not actually have something that's a beast for an extra $200? Is like, I don't know, myself personally, I don't know.
Why iPhone loves you, Mooch. I'm saying
right. That must be. I don't know. Listen. People will turn around and say to me all the time, they're like, well, you have expendable cash. No, that's horse shit. Because every single person, I'll use Crap's analogy, okay? Because Crap's really was dead spot on. People are like, I don't have the extra $200. Meanwhile, as they're saying that, they have their feet up on a case of fucking Milwaukee's Beast beer. You know what I mean? Like, take it easy. Like, you can spend it somewhere else for a week. Take a week off from the smokes and the drinks. Take a week off from the Cheesecake Factory. Take a week off from the premium gas in the car. I don't know what you got to do. All I'm saying is you spend it anyway. What I like about gaming is when you go buy a game and a console's for 4 years. That's why I said for 27 cents a day, you can enjoy yourself for the next 4 years on Scorpio. You know what I mean? Like when I did the breakdown. Like people don't realize it that way. They're like, I'm not paying $600 for that. If I told you, okay, you're not going to pay $600 for that, 4 or 5 years of a console for $600, let me give you I'll give you a quarter tomorrow. A quarter, 25 cents. You tell me what you're going to do with that for enjoyment tomorrow. What are you going to do? Get one of those fucking small, disgusting, hard gumballs at the local bank? Like, what are you going to do with that quarter? Nothing. So my point is like, yeah, you're probably going to chuck it at somebody.
Have more fun that way. Yeah.
People complain about the money they spend. If it was $600 every 3 months, we got to bitch. We got to complain. This is $600. And if this new generational thing is going on, Crap, where we don't have new consoles where you don't get left behind, well, that $600 is going to last you a long time. So, I mean, I just, all you're doing when you keep asking Microsoft to keep it 400 and Sony to keep it 400, all you're going to do is pay another 400 in 3 years.
Well, listen,
so
like
it's up to you.
The Sony thing isn't working out too well, though. I mean, this could blow up in both their faces.
Right.
Like, this Pro thing might not take all, like, because a lot of people are just going to be like, well, and I've heard this a little bit. Why not just wait? Why didn't Sony just wait a couple years and come out with the PS5?
Yeah.
In 2018, right?
I see that, like right around when it launched.
Yes, like because console cycles usually lasted 5 years, 5 to 6 years. So technically, 2013 to 2018, 2009, that would be fine, right? Yeah. Like people are saying, why not just do that? Same thing with this. Like Microsoft, this could blow up in their face too. Like we don't know yet. That's probably why they want to keep them low. Like nothing like this has ever been done before.
Right.
And what could hold them back is the fact that they've got to work with the older stuff. So I mean, some people
are confident in this no generations thing anymore. They're very confident in that. I think when back earlier when Mooch was talking about Microsoft, like saying native 4K and then kind of biting their tongue. From what I hear from people who talk to the big guys over at Xbox, they're so excited with the hardware that's coming that they want to talk about it, but then they have to pull themselves back. Like from what I hear, Mikey Barra is like he is walking with his nose like in the clouds right now. Like when with what's coming out in the holiday of 2017, like they are supremely confident in this piece of hardware. So I'm excited for it. Like to see somebody like Mike being the way he is, being as confident he is, seeing the Xbox advertising being as confident in the S and going forward, it makes me excited as a gamer with what's coming down the line. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. No, and you know what? There's truth to that that a lot of people can't really talk about, but there's a lot of excitement in Redmond. I mean, that's true. Yeah. We know that. What it is that they're excited about, I'm actually just as excited to find out. I don't know. Exactly. But I know that they don't usually get giddy and excited when they don't have, they've got like 4 aces in their hand. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's definitely 2017, it's funny. You see all the list wars, Godzilla 2 and Kamasugi Dragon and things like
to
that
go
are
back
coming
to the
up.
list again?
Yeah, maybe you want to hit the third page this time, crap. And but listen, I'll move on to another subject here, guys. I believe we saw this week that Beam is. I should tap GKB here.
Blue Reflection, Mosua Star, Sarah Kaguki, Peach Splash.
How can Scorpio keep up with these games?
Zero Escape, the Nonary games, Zedeye, Zetsomi, 4 Plus, Summer Memories, Windjammers. Yeah, What Remains of Edith Finch. Yeah,
that's a good one.
The Silver Case. Yeah, Tales of Berseria. Yeah, Symphony of the Machine.
Oh, let me stop you there, crap. Tales of Berseria. That was brought up on the list. They went through this entire list on Kind of Funny Games, and no one's gonna believe us, right? We're Xbox guys, but Colin Moriarty himself said that game is trash. Not playing it. Don't care. He said, "Don't even bring it up." He goes, "Scratch it off the list. I don't even want to talk." So I mean, he was going through and saying that about half of this list because he had this list in his hand. But what about Beam, guys? Is Beam coming to Xbox as its own app? I heard December.
I heard early next year. But
yeah, I heard early next year. It was supposed to be December, but then it got pushed back because they're all on vacation now. Like most of them are on vacation. So,
what do you guys think? Is this going to give Twitch a run for its money, or is this just going to be a delightful number like 3 or 4 on the depth chart and streaming?
I think Xbox fans are going to use it all the time.
It has potential, man.
It's so much better than Twitch, in my opinion. I just,
There's just a lot of people that have built up. Like, I just recently did some reading into finding out how much some of these Twitch guys make. They make a lot of money. Crap, tell me if I'm wrong. Twitch people that are successful make a lot more money than YouTube people. Is that true?
Well, yeah, YouTube people don't make anything. We're like the bums.
Well, I don't mean us. I mean, yeah, I think if GKB and Xbox put our money together, we can get a bus ticket to E3.
Yeah.
But I was gonna You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I just recently found out that like what happens during Twitch is not only do they get paid for their subscribers so much a month, I think it's $2 or $3, but they get all these donations. I was watching a buddy of mine, like I said, I have 2 of my friends that watch.
How many people would donate to me? Shit.
Well, they play only Destiny. So, but as I was watching, a buddy of mine doing, he was watching a live stream. People were throwing $150 a clip at this guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, the house that he had pictures on Twitter of the house he just built. He just built a McMansion, and all he does is play fucking Destiny all day.
There's some big guys like Broman and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Broman was one of them.
But there's a lot of girls on there with big tits.
Not as many girls. Well, not doing Destiny, but yes. But
here's the thing about like Beam. I think Beam definitely has the potential, and it's got Microsoft backing it, which is the best possible thing they could actually do. I was watching a lot of the developer diaries and stuff like that. The Beam apps and all that stuff is coming like early next year. But they also allude to big people coming over now. Microsoft might be actually having a hand in that and talking to Twitch streamers, some of the high profile people, because, they can kind of help them with the transition, like bankroll a little bit of the stuff and then get them going on Beam. And if they can acquire some of those guys and then the community like Xbox and all that stuff really pushes it and uses it, yeah, definitely it could give Twitch a run for its money. Absolutely. Especially with the low latency stuff. Like it's almost instant, like talking to people. That's like a fantastic thing. Like, absolutely.
I agree. Now, GKB, it's been a while, unless I've missed you guys doing it. It's been a while since you guys did this. You guys streamed on Beam quite a bit. Will this having an app active on the Xbox bring you guys to doing it more often?
We're doing it again next year. We're starting like a crazy thing. I can't really talk about much what we're doing because it's coming. There's a video coming. But yeah, that's part of our initiative is streaming a Beam. But it's not really tied to the Xbox app. I think that would help for sure. But I do like overlays and all that kind of stuff. So if they could do something on Xbox, and I said this before, even when they were doing like the Twitch stuff, is like somehow with the Upload Studio and all that kind of stuff, if you could do overlays and then integrate it with like Beam or Twitch or something like that, I would absolutely just do it off my console. But I use my PC mostly to stream and stuff. So.
No, I agree with you. And I was thinking of doing it. Are you and Snap's going to do anything like that? Or
Well, I'll definitely look into it more. I mean, the ease of having the app and just saying, broadcast and then have Beam come up and do that whole thing and have that low latency, the no lag thing already incorporated into the app. That's cool, because to do that really almost immediate response thing, I had to download something extra on the PC when it came to Beam. So if they have everything all rolled up into one nice little package, I will do it a lot. I will do it a lot more. Definitely try it out. I'm big on overlays, graphics, and the whole nine. But at the end of the day, when I'm just like, hey, I'm playing this game, I'm having a good time, let me just go ahead and broadcast real quick, see who stops in, say hi and stuff like that. I have no problem using Beam for that. So,
what do you think, Crap? Are you going to be a Beamer?
Hell no, I don't have good enough internet to do any of that shit.
Well, I thought that was part of the whole thing with Beam, though, right? That Beam would be.
Well, I still don't think I have good enough internet.
Please donate Crap Gamer so that you can get better internet, and then
the download speed's okay. The upload speed is the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Myself personally, I've always wanted to kind of do the streaming thing. I always thought that maybe
we did a good stream of the Uncharted 4 beta that one time.
Yeah, listen, a lot of people do streams and I watch them, like the people that we know, and they get like 15 people. I think we did really well. We got up to like 100 people that night. And when I did the stream with Larry Herb on soccer cards, we were at almost 200. I mean, it's hard to get people.
Wait, you played soccer cards with somebody from Microsoft, but they hate us all. Come on.
They hate us. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good point. Thank you, Crap. I don't usually bring it up. Yeah. We played soccer cards and streamed it on my channel on Twitch.
Wait, of course I actually was banned from that, but yeah.
Yes, that's true. That couldn't have happened at a worse time. That was the Quantum Break era.
Oh yeah. And I was harassing everybody in the chat, so that was pretty funny.
That was great. Yeah, I appreciate that, Crap. What sucked though but what kind of blew about that night was before the integration of the entire chat being able to be heard.
Yeah,
so it was me asking Larry and then Larry answering questions while we were playing. But I mean, it went really well and it was a lot of fun. Stayed very, I mean, when you got people from Microsoft either on your podcast or doing a Twitch with you, everything is just, it's all, how do I put it? It's very generic. They can't answer anything like, hey, Larry, are you really gonna have 6.7 teraflops in the Scorpio? No comment.
Yeah.
So I was like, it is what it is. But it was definitely a lot of fun to play with them. And those guys do game, man. They know how to play. So I'll give them that. Real quick, as we're approaching the 9 o'clock hour, and I wanted to wrap up before 9. I made a promise to GKB, which I'm probably going to break. So Crap even said it. Crap's like, yeah, he says that, and then Mooch is a workhorse. But anyways, we got Assassin's Creed movie coming out. It's getting a lot of thumbs down, guys. I mean, is this just? Do we just file this in bad movies for gaming movies that just go bad?
No, Mooch. I don't listen to critics, especially when it comes to video game movies and comic movies. I know a lot of them, don't live up to what they're trying to emulate in a movie form. Yeah. But I'm still excited for Assassin's Creed. I still want to see it, and I don't really give two shits how many thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up their ass, whatever, whoever's
I'm never going to remember. I agree with you, first of all, Xbot. Second of all, I never remember his name, so even in our house here, whenever he's in something, we're like, that movie with Magneto in it.
Fassbender.
Thank you. Is it Michael Fassbender?
Yeah.
Anyways,
no, we call him Magneto too, man. That's
let me just call him Magneto. But anyways, I like him as an actor. I thought he did a decent job, even as playing Steve Jobs. But my point is that
movie was horrible.
What?
That Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs one. Well, I like
the whole thing takes place right before events.
Yes.
I'm like, come on, can't they get into his life a little bit or something?
Well, if you want to watch that one, I know people this guy doesn't get enough credit, even though he's really known for his punk. But the Ashton Kutcher Jobs was, I thought, a better one. Yeah. I thought that was a better version of Steve Jobs' life. It got a little bit more to what you're talking about, Crap, with his life, a little bit more family stuff, a little bit more of after the events. I
want to hear how he dicked over his daughter, who he claimed he didn't have, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I want the dirt, man, about what a douchebag he was. I don't want to hear it.
Excuse me. We'll be editing all that out later. Steve Jobs is a saint. Thank you. Moving on. So we have. I do want to bring something up though. Halo Wars is going to be coming out in February, and I was not a huge Halo Wars person, not because I played it and didn't like it, just didn't. I ignored it. I did watch And I did do. It's Christmas time, so I went to church and I said my penance. But I did watch the 19-minute first play on IGN, and I thought that Halo Wars Definitive Edition came out for those that pre-ordered Halo Wars 2. And I thought Halo Wars Definitive Edition, I watched the first 20 minutes play. It looked like a lot of fun, and I think that Halo Wars 2 could only be that much more fun. I think I'm buying Halo Wars 2 day one. What do you guys? Are you guys in on that or no?
Well, GKB's a big RTS fan, so you gotta hit him, man. You gotta
hit
really? This, yeah.
Yeah, I played like Warcraft and StarCraft and all that kind of stuff. I'm a big RTS guy. I loved Halo Wars 1. I thought it was fantastic. I'm definitely going to be picking this up, but the bigger issue is Mooch. Why is every time I hear you say gameplay, it's like you say IGN, you watch IGN. That's like a 2-year-old playing fucking Halo.
It is.
They absolutely suck. Like, if you don't want to buy the game, watch it on IGN. If you want to buy it, go watch it somewhere else, bro.
I watched 8 minutes of IGN playing Voodoo Vince, and I almost like threw my remote controller.
Hey, the game looked good, though. That's what I was paying attention to.
Yeah, that's what I was really looking for. I don't pay attention to who's playing it.
You lit yourself on fire. Now you have to run to the gas tank. And he's like, oh, what do I do? Just walking around in the circle in the little. I was like, come on, man. You don't know what the hell you're doing right now.
Tell me this much, though, GKB, if you're the RTS guy, then. Now, how does Halo Wars stack up to like StarCraft?
It's very similar in play style. Like I've heard like a couple people say it's like turn-based. It's not turn-based. It's like you're on one side of the map, the other person's on the other side, and you're just like building your men and stuff, and then you're trying to go take out the other guy, or if you're going through the campaign, you're just trying to defeat the enemy. It's very like top-down kind of like shooter. Control your squad, and you got, like,
don't give me. There was a time we played a little bit of StarCraft. I remember that was very big in college years. But what I'm saying to you is that. Now, if it's me versus you in Halo Wars 2, like you said, I'm building my defenses, I'm building up my offenses on one side, you're on the other. At what point do our two colonies go to war?
Well, it depends on like what kind of player you are, because you could be a rush player that just builds like attack units and just goes out and like just rushes the map, or you're kind of a defensive guy who just stays back and just builds stuff. So it really depends on how you want to play. That's what's really cool about like RTSs to me.
I'm more of a defense guy, which is. That's just the way I am.
Or in machine gun turrets and all that kind of stuff is probably what you would be doing.
Right, making that my home fort is actually protected to the nines, and then I usually have a weaker front line because I'm saying, hey, when you get over here, we'll crush you at home.
Those games, though, turn out to be the longest games because
yes,
if you got a rush guy against a defense guy, it's just like constant, just pain in the assness. But if you got two rush guys, those games usually last.
I like that it's co-op, so you can have somebody on your team now. Like you can have a team play or whatever.
Oh, really? So we could do like me and GKB versus you and Xbot and like.
Yo, GKB, you're about to be very busy.
Me and GKB. I would say me and GKB versus.
See, I told you.
There you go.
Here's the thing when it comes to Halo Wars 2. This is a big thing, even if you're not into RTS. If you're into the Halo universe, it is setting up a new villain to be in the universe. Like I can almost guarantee you that Atriox, which is the villain in Halo Wars 2, he's not gonna die. They're setting up another villain, because if you ever notice with Halo games, there's always multi-tier enemies. You're never fighting just one group. Even the Covenant had the elite, had the brutes, had the you know what I'm saying?
Well, Jez Gordon kind of confirmed that already too. He said they're setting him up to be the big bad in the actual mainline Halo games.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's going to be so many fronts. You got Cortana controlling the Prometheans. You have Atriox, which is just a badass dude that the Covenant is even afraid of. Then you got where the end of Halo 5 for spoilers here. Cortana turns on the Halo ring, so something with the Flood. You're gonna have Halo 6 could possibly be setting up for the campaign to be one of the best in the franchise. Like with all this going on right now, I can see it all kind of converging into Halo 6 and beyond. The universe is about to go insane.
See, I like Halo Wars 2 is becoming more and more appealing to me because I'm getting to the point where I kind of have, especially with the idea of what this blitz with the card portion is going to be, because I wouldn't mind at the end of the night being like, yo, GKB, because GKB much like on the same time scale as I am. I could see hitting him up even on a Tuesday at 10:30, be like, were you going to play? And he was probably going to be like, not really, dude. I got to get up early. I'm like, you want to play a quick half-hour blitz? And he may be like, yeah, all right, I'll play that. And that's something we can pull off and get that done. I like things like that, like scenarios like that where it's like, one-on-one 2v2. That's kind of fun. That's just like the way that people always say, oh, Call of Duty's always been successful because you can just turn it on and you can just play a couple rounds and shut it off. That may be true for some younger folks, but that's not like when I play Call of Duty, I want to play it for a while. Play Halo, I want to play it for a while. Play Gears. I played Gears last night. God, I can't even tell you. I was on for at least 3 hours. It's like you play for a while when you're going to play. But yeah, nonetheless, like this is a game that I think really is a chance to be able to pick up, play that Blitz version, get a 30, 35-minute round in, and then call it a day. You know what I mean? And actually have a good fight. Where like a 35-minute round of Battlefield 1 is you run all the way across the board just to get squashed by a fucking crop jet. Anyways, moving on to the next thing. Crap, I'm going to bug you on this one.
Battlefield again.
Oh, that Battlefield, man. God bless you guys. Your patience. There should be little statues of saints in all the churches around the world for you. Anyway, crap. So this was on a Kind of Funny Games. They were both doing a review of the Telltale Batman, which I know that GKB played. I know that you played.
That game's great, yeah.
That was great, but everyone's telling me, and I've heard on that show that episode 5 was completely broken. Is that true? Broken. They were saying that a lot of the same issues that were happening. Not that it didn't work, but sometimes that Batman would be fighting and punching somebody that wasn't even there. Sometimes it was just a pair of eyeballs.
Are we talking about the same game?
Yeah, what were they playing it on? Like
this was the PlayStation 4.
Maybe on PS4, but I played it the day it came out on Xbox One and had no problems.
Okay, so now that's good. That's what I thought. But if you go watch today's Kind of Funny Games, they did a review of the Telltale games, and they loved it. They said even with the glitches and problems, they thought it was one of the best. To date, but they said the episode 5 was completely broken, and they said, Colin Moriarty was doing his big stance on. He said he was tweeting out to the owner of whoever the co-creator of Telltale was, and said, guys, your games are not overly like that demanding. As far as the software, you need a better engine. It's enough is enough with having broken games.
They just have a
new
engine in there, yeah.
Well, apparently, I don't know. Maybe that was just a PlayStation. Of course, they're never going to say it's just a PlayStation issue. But they were playing on PlayStation. Yeah, there's never a problem with PlayStation. PlayStation is great, people. But yeah, would you guys recommend that Telltale?
Absolutely.
That one's great. The new Walking Dead is phenomenal. Like,
holy crap.
Well, just in case anybody wants to keep up, it's Mooch is 0 for 75, I believe, in the Free Code Friday. Today's Free Code Friday was the entire season 1, and I even gave Larry a deep story into why I think I should win it in Bubkiss. So,
I lost too. I was gonna give it away to you, but yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that crap. I don't know who the hell. Well, actually, it was Jay Williams won and Rand won once, so that was pretty cool. At least we know people that actually won it. But me and Crap will never win Free Code Friday. So that's just what it is. And listen, with that, I'm gonna pretty much wrap up today because it is just before 9, and I did want to keep my word for GKB, guys. It is Christmas weekend. We will be doing an M&C mornings on my channel. I believe we're aiming for Monday at noon. If anything changes, just stay tuned to Twitter. But let's do some outros. Crap. Tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing for Christmas and where we can find you.
Oh, well, Crap Gamer Reviews. I did a video came up even before this one. It was my 5 most disappointing games of this year. So go check that out. Pretty interesting stuff. And then I just have the daily content and stuff like that. And then let's see, everybody have a good Christmas and stuff. So yeah, it'll be good. We're giving away Battlefield 1, so call in M&C mornings.
Yeah, M&C mornings. Give a call. Well, actually, I think Jay's closing.
Yeah, it might be closed, but
the lines are closed now. But one of the lucky call-ins is going to be getting a Battlefield 1 game for. It'll be a delayed Mooch and Crap Christmas gift.
Yeah, I'm hoping people get a lot of Xbox One S upgrades, and they already have that game, and they give it to us so we can continue to give it away. Remember, give all your donations to us. It sounds like eBay, but seriously, the whole thing is built off of the community donating the stuff, and then we find it, good homes or whatever. And then what the really cool thing is, what people don't know is, if people win it and they already have it or something, they donate it back. You know, like that's happened a couple times. So
that has happened. If they have it, they donate it back, or if it's something that they know they're not going to play, they donate it back. We got a great community because other people wouldn't do that. You know, a lot of other communities, the only other community would just take it and try to trade it in for money. Anyways, moving on. GKB, what are you doing for the holiday with Mrs. She-Wolf, and what's going on with you guys, and where can we find you?
Oh man, we're gonna be going checking out some Christmas lights. We're gonna watch the kids open up a whole bunch of presents. Tuesday we got the video game awards. Definitely come check that out, guys, because we're gonna give away a bunch of AAA games. I think we got like 5 giveaways that we're gonna be doing towards the show, during the show on the video game.
We'll be during the chat, in the chat.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing it in the chat and throwing them out.
Maybe hashtag mooching. Be there in the front row.
Come on out and have some fun with us, and that's about all I got going on.
There is absolutely not going to be any BGST on Sunday. There's not going to be any podcast on Sunday.
No, there's definitely not going to be BGST.
Or if there is, it ain't going to be me.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're gonna. No, I'm gonna wait to see how many more headsets Zaire gets for Christmas, though. We'll count those. Xbot 448. Where can we find you this weekend, and what's happening with your family this Christmas holiday?
Yeah, well, in terms of what's going on, we're actually having a show tomorrow. You know, I left it up to
damn slave driver on Christmas Eve.
See, that's what, man. I had a DM going. I was like, hey guys, you know, I didn't want to come off as a slave driver, all that good stuff.
Guys, you're gonna be on the show.
So
what's going on? You motherfuckers are gonna
what's
be on
going
the show.
on, people?
Your asses belong to me. I gave him. I was like, "Hey guys, you know, we'll take the day off or whatever." And all of a sudden, everybody was like, "Well, no, we're not having a show. Why aren't we having a show?" And like, it just built up in the DM. So, next podcast will be on tomorrow. We do have a bunch of cool things to talk about. Possibly that new Elite controller. That yes, I did get the word out there before Jez and Windows Central. I am very proud of that, and I will be talking about that probably a bunch tomorrow. But otherwise, yeah, guys, you know, have fun with your families and everything over the weekend. I hope you guys get a lot of good stuff. You know, if anything, make next podcast a family thing. You know, sit grandma, you know, by YouTube, have her listen in with us. And we'll have a good time tomorrow.
Absolutely. Awesome. I want to say Merry Christmas and have a safe and happy holiday with your families, everybody. Definitely game if you want to add me a mooch on Xbox Live. We're going to be on a lot this weekend. The kids are going to be getting a whole lot of new games. And so you'll see myself on there quite a bit starting Sunday morning, probably right through next week. So feel free to make us friends on Xbox Live. It's been a great crew today. I want to thank everyone for coming on, especially GKB for coming special guest starring tonight, because it is hard. It's hard on the holiday, and he took some time out from his family. A lot of YouTubers, like I said, even Xbox shocked he's doing a next podcast tomorrow, and it's his own show. So it's tough these times. Guys, enjoy yourself. Be safe. Drink some spiked eggnog, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Dead right.